Well, one question I wanted to ask, or one conversation I wanted to have, and I wanted to make sure I got it in. Me personally, one of my favorite songs is "Eyes of Advice," and I just got to ask, what was it like making the "Eyes of Advice" music video? Ever since it was released, besides the amazing video, the song has been a personal favorite of mine, and I wonder what your perspective was during the making of it.
It was. I decided to go method acting in a way. I'm just kind of how I do it anyway. Is I really want to feel what the character would be feeling. I feel like it. So what I did was the way we shot that video is it's a video of me wasting away slowly over throughout the course of the video, and then at the end you find out it's opiates that were destroying my life. And so we shot the end of the movie. I call it the movie first. And I was just emaciated, 127 pounds. I hadn't eaten for like 36 hours before we shot. I was miserable. I was kind of a dick to our cinematographer and our crew. I wasn't cool. I was in a really bad mood when we went in there, and it showed on the. I looked miserable. I think it really played through. And then I worked out like crazy for like 3 weeks, a couple months to shoot the beginning of the movie. So I got bulked up 15 pounds, put on as like 144 or something by the time we shot it, 145, and pretty cut. I had a personal trainer, and my mood was elevated. I was in a great mood. We hung out where everybody was getting along really well. And I feel like that also came through. It was rough because I would fly out to Denver for like 3 days to shoot like 4 hours. So I would put in like 36 hours of travel for like a 4-hour shoot.
Wow.
I was committed, and it was a lifestyle. I was working out not every day, but I had a personal trainer hired for it was intense. It was awesome.
Do you have like a favorite part of the music video that was like your personal favorite?
Well, when we were shooting it, I liked leaning back on the stool. We had the whole room was on a green screen. So there's green drapes everywhere. And then that was all superimposed back. So there seems to be falling through the like atmosphere. And that's because I was leaning back on the stool. That was the hurt like hell to shoot it, but it was probably the most interesting part of the shoot to do. The way it came out, the thing I liked the best was there's just a scene in there where like the demons coming through the door the third time or something, and my eyes are all lit, and like there's all this AI After Effects rotoscoping. I don't know exactly what the tech is called on top of me, so I look like cartoonishly decrepit, and like my eyes are getting hit by the wind of like cosmic winds, and that part of the movie's iconic. I love that scene.
Yeah.
How that turned out.
I rewatched the music video a couple times today, just to have it fresh in my mind. And yeah, absolutely, one of the best music videos I've ever seen. The graphics all throughout it. Some people might complain because it is AI, but I love the AI graphics in that video. The music video is fantastic. I've shown like all my friends that video.
Yeah, it was like a AI augmentation. It's different than just having an AI generate something that looks like me doing stuff. I actually acted it all, and then we put some AI After Effects in. Once they start AI generating people, and once we do one, we AI generate one, let me know how that one goes too.
For sure, yeah. And then I also checked out the song you did with Alex Stein too. That was pretty funny.
Which one?
Oh, you did multiple? I watched.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got here Black Rifle. Insanity. The Ukraine's hot. that was great. I still have it. I have a few of those. And we did another one for Black Rifle Coffee, but I don't think it ever went public. We were going to sell it to them to use for their commercial. It's so good.
I need to see if I could find that then.
No,
I haven't seen that.
I don't think it's
not
public.
public.
I just have it on my cell phone. Yeah, it's hilarious, dude.
That sounds amazing. So funny. That sounds funny.
Yeah.
And it's you singing, or is it just you in the video?
Me and Alex. Yeah. It's all three of us. It's nice. His producer too, Jimmy Van Thron. So the three of us. It's like we're very Beastie Boys.
Will it ever go public?
I don't know. It's been like 3 years, 2.5 years since we made it. We made them in the same night. We went into a studio and recorded both those in like an hour, just out of nowhere. We just made it up as we went. It was really fun.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Alex.
Oh wow, really cool. Well, I hope I could see that at some point. That sounds cool. It sounds funny. Well, okay. So let's see. Where do I want to go from here? I want to ask. I have so many questions. Let's see. I think where I want to go with this next is I want to ask you what it's like behind the scenes of Timcast IRL. You've been a key part of Timcast IRL since 2020, co-hosting alongside Tim Pool. What I want to ask first actually is, what's the most surprising lesson you've learned about the media industry while working on such a high-profile, uncensored platform?
It is that listening is not only immensely powerful, maybe the ultimate tactic in a conversation, it is imperative. It cannot work without it. And I mean like thoroughly listening to the point where it matters more what they're going to say than how I'm going to respond. I'll drop my memory. I'll like get into what they're saying. The if listening, not only does it produce awesome results, if I don't do it, things come crashing down as a fail. So the power and importance of listening and integrating. It's like, yeah, like what you're going to say, if you're honest, it's just going to come out of you anyway. You don't need to like prepare it. Sometimes you'll have a piece of data you want to throw out and you're like, I got to remember that data. But what I've learned is don't worry too much about that stuff. Like you said earlier, if it's important, you'll remember.
Definitely. And what I would add to that is it is important to listen to people, because if you don't listen in the first place, then how do you know how to respond? How do you know what the conversation is about? What I often see, just being a passive viewer of debates and politics and stuff, people often argue about a certain topic, but they don't first agree on what they mean by the specific topic. For example, people argue about abortion, but they won't agree on what the word abortion means, or they'll argue about the releasing of the Epstein files, but they won't argue what they mean by the Epstein files. Certain things like that. So, and I feel like that's also very important. It's not just important to listen to someone, but it's also very important to understand the words they're saying when they say them.
Massive. And that's to the point where you can take a minute before you get rolling, or just clear the space and be like, let's define our terms so we'll get a lot. That helps a lot. I noticed that in the early days, Tim and I would talk past each other using the same words, but we had slightly different meanings. And then something clicked like 2 years ago where one of us or both of us were just like, just define what you mean with that word, by that word. It's so much easier, because I might actually use literally a different word to describe the meaning that you're portraying right now. It doesn't matter what the words are. Like, that's the whole, don't get hung up on semantics.
Yeah, because we could both be wrong about the definition of a word, but as long as we agree on that definition, then the conversation will make sense. But if we're both just using a word and we don't know how the other person's using that word, we'll start talking past each other. So it's incredibly important.
And clarify if people are being hyperbolic sometimes, because I'll seem like retardedly analytical. Like I'm like one time Tim was last week, I think he was like, I think the most likely scenario is that it was aliens, and I'll be like, well, I think it was something else, and he's like, that's a bad idea. I'm like, what? You said, hold on, you truly believe it was? And I knew deep down he didn't truly believe it was aliens. I knew there's no way that, but I have to take people at their word. And just like rather than be dismissive of crazy statements, I'd rather just understand what they mean. And then of course, are you joking? It's okay to ask those questions too. Are you being hyperbolic? It's super dangerous to be hyperbolic in debate with TV. I feel like it's really important to be, I don't know, I got mixed feelings. Like, you want to be accurate. I want to be accurate, but I also don't mind subverting the system. You've got a lot of evil powers that try to maintain control mechanisms. And if you don't speak with a sort of thieves' cant, with like your own like kind of twinkle and wink of saying things that aren't necessarily obvious, then you're fucked. Like Ben Franklin was really good about that, apparently.
And what I would add to that, Joey Cannoli, another member of the Discord, him and I talk about often that when it comes to getting people involved and getting people to care about politics, it's not enough to just sit there and be a talking head. You got to be entertaining too. So adding, like being a little bit hyperbolic sometimes, or being sarcastic in conversation, sure, it could, in a debate setting, you wouldn't want to do that. But when you're just talking about politics and stuff like that, I would highly recommend it, even because you want to be entertaining. You want to make it a little bit fun to talk about politics. I say often that I don't watch sports. My sports is politics. Politics is entertaining to me, and the reason I want to talk about it all the time is because I find it to be fun to talk about all these different things with people, even if the topics we're not talking about are fun themselves. But I think in order to get people interested in politics, to get people motivated to go out and vote and things like that, I think we need to make politics entertaining.
I believe that for sure. Someone said, like, as the AI starts to mimic us, and we're like, is this AI? Is it not AI? That it's the people that decide to continue to be extremely offensive, shockingly offensive. They're talking about this on IRL a couple nights ago. That the AI won't do it. Like, if you say the word retard, like, the AI won't use that. There are things the AI won't say because it's not PC or whatever. So if you're willing to still talk like that, people will know you're being real. So there's something about being superfluous. Yeah, like lying, like joking actually brings a form of authenticity. Like, being willing to say something that's irrationally stupid almost is the more authentic way. That's actually a very strange way to think, but it's true.
You know, Ian, I think I'll be safe from AI because it'll never get my stutter down correctly. So, actually, it probably will, but a man can dream.
I wonder if AI is going to be like, people that tell it can't, it's going to be like, ooh, it's real obstinate. It's like, you tell me I can't, you better believe I'm going to triple down and make sure I do it.
Right. You'd be like, new goal updated. It'll. Oh, man. Well, we were just talking about this a little bit. I feel like we were talking about it, or talking around it a little bit, but I'll address it directly. Your role on Timcast IRL often involves offering contrarian viewpoints. How do you prepare for debates with guests who have starkly different perspectives, and how do you handle the backlash from viewers who find your takes controversial? I love your contrarian views, but I know a lot of people in the Discord community and in the chat that I don't understand it, but I want to know your perspective on it.
The best way to prepare, if there's a guest that I think is going to be does talk or behave in a way that's like, whoa, that's antithetical to how I function, is just to listen. The key is I don't worry about it beforehand at all. I try not to, because if that cortisol fires, it fucks up the interaction. Your first impression is super important. So I treat them like an individual, like an equal when I meet them. Real interested in shaking their hand, asking them their name, listening to them, asking them what they've been up to. I do that almost every time I see somebody new, and listening to what they've been doing. And then if it comes to the point where I'm going to say something that I know violates their sensibilities, like sometimes with religion, where there'll be people in there that are like, I'm a devout fill in the blank religion. And I'm like, well, get ready for me. I'll say something extremely that I think this is the thing that's going to be offensive. I'll say it extremely, like, clearly, not at them. I don't put it like in their face. That's a big problem. I think if I turned at the guest and was like, and thing about all this, but if I just say it out loud and express it, then there's not really any hostility. But definitely if I turn and look at them when I say it, it creates this unnecessary tension, because it's not like I'm disagreeing at them to get at them. If what I believe is here and it's different, then here it is, you know.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, because if you're staring at them and you're disagreeing with them, while you're staring at them and disagreeing with them, you're directing it at them. But if you're disagreeing with someone and you're not staring at them, you're just kind of addressing it to the room. You're just kind of letting your thoughts be known. You're not directing it at the person. So I could see that as being more approachable. You know what I mean?
I noticed it with Tim too on the show in the early years. He and I, if we got into a disagreement, I would look at him and disagree right at his face, like look in his eyes, and he would get angrier. Like he would get the agitation. He'd be like, because if it was probably like I was coming at him. But now I notice if I just turn away and express it out, it's less jabby. You know, it's some of the shit I guess that I say is so harsh. I don't think it is, but it's just like cutting. You know,
I don't know if it's harsh. I think it's just like so contrarian that it offends some people, and I just find it hilarious, because I love you always bring like a devil's advocate kind of view to the show, and it's funny because people get angry at things that you say, but it's not even that you believe these things. You're just bringing them up to kind of like gauge the panel's response, or just as a a counterpoint, which is something I do on my show. Even I'll be in the middle of saying something, and then while I'm saying it, I'll think of a counterpoint and say it, even though I don't believe it. And I'll preface it like, I don't believe this, but here's a counterpoint.
Oh yeah. Yeah, fleshing out. That's comes back to my love of systems. I want to flesh out each of the parts of the system so that you can see it clearly. You see where he's coming in, or Tim, or whoever is bringing in their idea, and I'm like, well, check out idea though. And they're like, what the fuck? I don't think any of that's. You don't even think that. I'm like, yeah, but those are real ideas that maybe I'm making an assumption that somebody somewhere thinks it. But I don't know. I really like fleshing out totality as best possible. Whether it kind of pulls me out of it. I'll still get into it. I can give you what I think, but I do really enjoy the objectiveness.
I think you and my co-host would be dangerous to put together, because you guys, I don't think you would ever stop talking to each other. Because you and him both have the same philosophy on that. He'll delve into what he actually believes, but he also loves to go into other branches of thought, and he does it all the time. That's TJ Rain Man. He's called into the show a few times as well, but yeah, that would be. I do want to get you guys together at some point, because that would be a really interesting conversation, but I feel like you guys wouldn't stop talking. So good and bad, I guess. Let's see, where do I want to jump next? So do you ever feel any type of way about like some of the backlash you got, or is it just something you've kind of just never thought too much about? Because it's the internet. I know you can't take everything to heart.
I used to in 2006 and 2007, like got started, and that it hurt a lot. The negative comments were like devastating. I questioned, why am I doing this? What is the point? If people hate me, why am I putting forth all this effort and bearing my soul if people are getting angry at me? What's the point? And then years went by, and I was like, well, everyone's kind of expressing themselves, and so don't take it personally. The 4 agreements helped me out a lot. Don't take it, nothing that anyone says or does is because of you. They're all going through their own thing. And but that meant I had to not take the positive stuff personally either, like the really. But then so I try not to take it as personally. Now I'll read it, I'll kind of laugh and be like, oh yeah, that Ian Crossland guy, he sure got him. Or what, I won't think of a third person, but I'll laugh at like the whole situation. But also I read the crowd. The wisdom of the crowd is a real thing. So some days I do a show and I go look at the comments, and a lot of them be, shut up, Ian, shut up. God, I can't stand that guy. He talks, dude, he does not know when. And I'll realize it wasn't that I need to shut up. It's that I need to listen more. This was the big turning point for me. I got some advice from some friends in 2007 when I was really manic, going through this, metamorphosis of communication and obsession. And they were like, Ian, stop talking. And I took it so personally, and I shut down. I was like, I should just stop talking. But what they meant was listen more. It wasn't, it was that I had become this blabbering mess, and they needed me to listen more. The things I was saying were fine. I just had to integrate the listening. And it's the same thing in these comments. If I see an array, I'll get this wisdom wash from the audience. If I see a lot of a similar kind of comment towards me or about me, I can kind of read general, like, okay. And then as I started to listen more, that comment went away. I was like, yeah, now I just get the acute every once in a while, the acute comment. There's like chronic. That would be just like a chronic expression of, if there's a chronic expressions of displeasure, there's a reason. And part of that's, but if there's acute instances of like, oh God, that hurt me, I don't take it too personally.
I'm sure it's really hard to not take that stuff personally, because it's one thing not to take hate comments personally. I'm sure that's not the hardest thing to do, but to not take positive comments personally, that's got to be even harder.
Especially when it's accurate, when it's saying what I want to believe about myself.
Right.
And it'll be a well thought out comment. But the thing is, some negative criticism is very helpful because it's not personal. It's like analytical, and it'll be specifically about a thing I said and why it was a problem and how it was wrong, or the way I could have said it better. I'm all about that kind of criticism. The criticism is like, shut up, you're bad, dumb shit. I don't listen to that. That's just like not non-personal, kind of not even real criticism. It's just like exasperative,
Yeah, if you're gonna crap on me, at least be constructive about it,
Yeah. and they can do the positive stuff too. So the whole like, you're so great, that's like, I don't want to take too much of that person. But if someone's like, I really love the way you listen and then they give a timestamp, or the way that you put him at ease when I could see, and I'll identify with what they're saying. So there are times and places to accurately read really well thought out comments.
I mean that's completely fair though, because you also have to take into account just the being an internet personality. There could be people targeting you with bots. You don't want to sit there and read bot comments all day talking about how much they hate you or how much they love you either. But when you see comments like you're talking about where they say specific timestamps, specific things that you've said, and then they're a lot more detailed, it's a lot more personable.
Yeah, but I wonder, even like you said, bots. That's the last year or so. I'm like, so I'd get a negative comment, and I'd be like, it's just a bot anyway. And then I'm like, Ian, it's probably a human. Do not dehumanize people with your just, fuck them all. They're all bots anyway. And like, there might be pozo bots, like bots that are trying to get me all oiled up, greased up, telling me things I like to hear about myself in really constructive, intellectual ways that I'll identify with. And then it's a fucking bot trying to sell me some sheepskin or something.
No, I definitely, and I've had to be careful with that stuff too. I've only been live streaming since like February, but even I've seen my fair share of people that appear to be bots, and it's interesting it's an interesting problem to have. It's a I'm still figuring it out, especially with the for example the chat today. Obviously this is one of my bigger shows I've done, and the chat's going a lot faster than it normally is. It's really interesting. It's something I have to get used to, because even 6 months ago I had like no one watching, so it's an adjustment.
Yeah, it scales rapidly. Goes out. It doesn't scale up. It scales laterally. Yeah. I mean, it scales up and it used to scale up. It was very much like you get the job, you book the TV show, and as soon as you hit that one TV show, there it is until they put your face on a billboard, and then it was up, 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 up. But now it's like up a little bit and then out. All these people see that little thing, and then up and out, and it's just so your area is increasing in a different way.
Yeah.
With a lot more potential for rapid expansion.